How did you become a Christian?
Oh, I still remember when I was about 11 years old. I was in church on a Sunday morning, and the pastor said that he wanted everybody to raise their hand that accepted Christ. And I raised my hand, and he said, "Oh, you were baptized as a baby." And I said, "Well, I didn't know it. How did I know?" So I said, "I want to find out more." And this was in the Methodist Church in Grantsville many, many, many years ago. I was about 11. And so I started then going to other churches so I could find out what I was missing. I knew something was missing because I didn't know. And I needed to know in my heart that I was saved. So I started going to other churches. And
one of the things you've done is to read the Bible through.
Well, Mrs. Ross, when I was first married to J.D., Mrs. Ross gave me this Bible. So I started at the beginning and read it through, let's see, this one's at least 5 times, from beginning to end, the Old Testament and then the New Testament.
And how can you tell?
And well, it's just completely worn out, and I wrote the dates down in the book when I finished them. Finished this one, says 97, 98, 90, 60, started out in the 1960s.
Okay.
Reading them through. And then it got kind of worn, so I got a new Bible and started reading it through. And I've read it through, finished it 8 times. I'm on the 9th time going through it. I start at the beginning and read the Old Testament first and then the New Testament. And every time I read it, I find something that I completely forgot. And I think it means something different. Each age in your life, each stage in your life, it means something different. So the Bible's for every age. You never get too old to read it.
You said you remembered reading it sitting by a tree when you were young?
Oh, I was just a teenager when I first started reading it through. I was in high school, and mother had died, and I was living with grandmother. And I walked to the edge of the town with my Bible in my hand, and it was right outside the city limits, and up on kind of a little bank there was a tree there. And I sat there and started reading the Bible through, and really asking the Lord to help me to understand what I was reading. Well, some of it's hard to understand if you don't read it again and again and again. And it always gets plainer as you read it. It means more to you each time you read it. So I'm so thankful that I started when I was young. I'm now 84, or I will be 84 next month. So I've read it many times.
And tell me about what your grandmother would make you do on Saturday night.
Yeah, well, we just had 2 things in Grantsville. It was a skating rink and the movie theater. And she said that if your clothes aren't clean and your shoes aren't polished, you don't have your shower, you don't get to go to the skating rink or to a movie. If you're not ready to go to church, you don't do anything else. You stay home on Saturday night and get those things ready. So she had a great influence in my life. She was a really, really wonderful Christian lady. And I lived with her right after my mother died when I was 11. So she had a great, great influence on me. And I stayed with her until she died. So she was really great.
And that was your grandmother?
Yeah, my daddy's mother.
Right,
Grandmother Hardman.
Okay.
Harriet Hardman.